Welcome back, everyone. We're talking about the alleged recording of Michael Brown's shooting. CNN cannot independently confirm whether the shots heard were from the Brown incident, but the recording raises a whole lot of questions. I'm back now with my panel. Sonny, you were ready to get in here.
Well, you know, I was just going to say the suggestion somehow that the police shouldn't be providing public information to the media, to the public, and that is something that is never done, really just flies in the face of what we see every day. The bottom line is we see every day that police officers, captains, chiefs of police, they hold press conferences and tell you what they know about a potential case, what they know about a potential crime, what they know about a suspect. And let's not forget that in this case, although they have not released the police incident report unredacted, they haven't really allowed this officer to speak, they did find it appropriate to release video of this alleged strong-arm robbery. They have found it appropriate to dribble out information about Michael Brown in this case. And so I think the suggestion that somehow that this is a case that is being run transparently and being run the same way that every other case is being run is just not correct.
Well, I didn't say it doesn't happen. I was saying I'm not a fan of it. I don't think it should happen.
Well,
I think it's an ongoing criminal investigation, and you taint it by causing other witnesses to have information that they otherwise wouldn't have.
Well, there's that, but guys, isn't there also that there's no narrative? I mean, you know, even in Zimmerman, you know, Angela Corey, who's the prosecutor here where I practice in Florida, like her or not, she had a narrative. She had a theme when she took over. We don't have anybody putting forth what their theme is. And in fact, McCullough said he's going to the grand jury piecemeal. That's no way to present a case to the grand jury.
Can we get back to the audio, though? I want to get back to this audio because we're getting a little far afield here. And I think a lot of that's been debated. We're going to find out about McCullough and whether the governor is saying he's going to stay there. So let's get back to the audio here, and to the authenticity. Again, CNN has not verified it yet, but the FBI is taking it seriously. But one reason people say that they believe it is because this guy is doing something personal with a friend, right? And he does not appear to be disturbed by gunshots at all. What do you?
Yeah, well, that was my thought when I first heard the sound recording. I thought, this guy is so into this woman or man, I don't know who he's flirting with, that even gunshots do not derail. Even gunshots do not derail. Even gunshots don't derail his flirting. I mean, that's a man on a mission here.
Alex, Judge, that might be how dangerous this neighborhood is. Maybe gunshot isn't that unusual to hear.
Let's listen and then we'll talk. Let's listen again.
You are pretty. You're so fine. Just going over some of your videos. How could I forget?
I mean, he never stopped. He just kept talking right through it.
He sure did. I mean, but we don't know the circumstances of how he was video chatting. Right. He could have headphones on. But
Don, are you speaking from experience?
Those are good headphones.
But I got to tell you, when I first heard the audio, and of course I've listened to it several times, I thought that the sort of the context of the chat made it more authentic, because who would want to release this kind of information? I mean, he's clearly in some sort of like sexy chat on a video chat. He's talking about watching someone's videos.
What's wrong with that, though?
Nothing wrong with it, but it can be embarrassing.
Well, I mean,
as long as it's legal, and as long as it's legal to record conversations in that state, and we all believe it is.
And it is.
Yeah. So as long as it is, then there's no problem. If it was illegal, then it would raise all kinds of issues, because most of the states that ban recording a conversation like that without both parties' consent also ban it being used in court for any purpose whatsoever. Yeah. So that would create.
I do have to say, last night when we were trying to get this verified, to get it on the air, and speaking to him and to her meaning his attorney, he did not want to be identified, and he did not want media attention. And when someone approaches us and not wanting media attention, not wanting to be identified, that usually authenticates their story, because if you're just looking for attention, you want to get your face out there. He didn't want any of that.
Very good point. Very good point.
Yeah. Sonny? I'm surprised. Sonny, you don't have anything to say?
I always have something to say, Don Lemon.
10:45 Eastern Time on Sonny Houston.
I always have something to say, but
writing it down.
I think certainly it does again inure to the notion that I think it's probably an authentic recording, and I think what we should also mention is the FBI is certainly interested in it. We know that the FBI has interviewed this man. They have, they're investigating the recording, and they're the best in the business, quite
So
frankly.
then why
I've worked
this-
with FBI agents, and I believe they're the best in the business.
Janet, when you hear the number of shots, right? It's 10. I thought I heard 11, but they said that was probably an echo that I was hearing in the recording. Police are trained to shoot. Why shoot to kill? Why shoot to, and usually to unload their gun?
That's what they're shot to do.
Yeah.
Well,
I mean,
right, but my
Yeah,
my
you're-
defense would be, if I'm defending the Officer Wilson, my defense would be, first of all, he's not that experienced. I don't know how good a shot he is because they're bullets that we can't find, or maybe they have found and we don't know it. But my defense would be he wasn't going to kill him. He was shooting in his arms. He was shooting in a way that would just disable him.
Don, I heard Ben Carson say something the other day, and I couldn't believe how wrong he was. He said, one of the things we have to find out is police officers are shot to stop and they're shot to kill. Why did he choose to shoot to kill? And that's just flat out wrong. Police officers are taught to shoot to stop, and they shoot for center of mass. That's what they shoot for, because you don't shoot for hands or feet or legs, because those move, and that's how you kill bystanders behind. You shoot for the center of mass, that's where the organs are, and that's what's most likely to put somebody down. That's what all police officers are taught.
But you know what I think
But
we need
now, the other thing that you have to know is that you're not taught to, it's not like television. Everybody sees like 007 go tap, tap, and the person goes down. That's not the way it is. In a situation where you're afraid for your life and you pull your gun to shoot, you're shooting. And a lot of times what people do is when they pull the trigger, they push the barrel of the gun in this direction, and that's why possibly he was
But I
given
think
the
what we
right
need to
arm.
focus the
Adrenaline.
conversation is whether or not the shooting, the use of deadly force, was appropriate. By
It may
most
have been
wit-
completely inappropriate.
But by most
It may be
witness-
unjustified.
The witnesses that I've heard from, and again, Don, maybe there are more, maybe there are others, but when you have someone that is fleeing, right? Perhaps there was an assault. If you have this fleeing felon, you can't just shoot to kill, right? You have to either be this person has to be a threat
That
to
is-
you or a
that is-
threat to others in the
Felon.
community.
Okay.
Yes,
That-
even
that
a
is-
fleeing
that is
felon.
not true.
That
That
is
is not true.
That is
No.
true. The Supreme
It
Court.
just-
the
it just has to be-
Supreme Court
if it's
has
a-
found that. That is
Yeah, no,
absolutely true.
I know the case you're referring
We
to.
all do.
Garner.
And that is not true. If it is a fleeing felon from a violent felony, if you believe the story, because we don't have the officer's story, and as I said, this may be a completely unjustified shooting.
Okay.
But if the officer's story is he fractured the orbit of his eye, he could shoot him.
That
but
is
he,
not
but,
true.
but
That's
suppose-
not
In
Let
the
you guys
Garner-
go on
in- I
because
don't-
it's such an intriguing
Okay.
conversation, but unfortunately I have to end it here. Thank you guys. I
That is
appreciate
not
it.
true, Alex.
See, she always
All
has to
right.
get the
We'll
last
debate it
word.
another time.
We'll be right back.